Hi, it's been a minute. I didn't do Fridays. Quarantine jam because, well, I wasn't feeling it. We've been farting around with an old 1805 manuscript, Cushing and Appleton. Played a couple of tunes out of that. A lot of fun there. Did some today for my friends at Fort McHenry, 1st of September, which I didn't realize was in there. But we're going to switch gears for this next round of pandemic playing. We're going to start playing with music which from the era that I consider the golden age of fife and drum, the American Civil War. So our first thing we're going to look at is Col Harts' manual. Some good tunes in Col Harts. A lot of fun music, and we'll play some of that. And then we'll go through a few others. So stay tuned. All right, we're digging through Col Harts. Col Harts was a manual published in New York. It was a drum manual. The fifing was written or provided by a fellow named Baldwin from Connecticut. Yeah, W.C. Baldwin from New Haven. The book was published by the author at 119 Nassau Street in New York. Colonel H.C. Hart's new and improved instructor for the drum with original notation. What's cool about Col Hart is he invents his own kind of drumming notation, which looks kind of like, well, I'll show you. There's the regular music, and then this weird stuff with the giant sevens and stuff. That's fife music. Drum music. And, modern drummers now have to kind of go in there and translate, which is kind of cool. Another interesting thing, going through reveilles, which I had done earlier on in the pandemic. I had come to a conclusion a long time ago that a reveille was basically 6 or 8 minutes of music that if you were in charge of the music, made sure everybody knew and could play well, so that the bottom line was we needed to make noise in such a way as that everybody got up, and it had to last a long time. And there had to be some kind of system to it. And they almost all start with that Three Camps tune that I did early on. But in the middle of Col Hart's tune, under the heading of the Austrian, he in fact uses a very popular tune you may have heard called The Girl I Left Behind Me. And it's a really nice arrangement of it. So here's Col Hart's The Austrian, aka The Girl I Left Behind Me, in the middle of his reveille. So if you were laying in bed in the army and the lead music was using Col Hart's book, this is what you'd be hearing all of a sudden. I'm playing this on my B flat Firth and Pond reproduction. And that would be followed by a couple of other tunes until you got to the very last tune, which would have been a quick scotch, which in the case of Col Hart's was the very popularly used fairy dance, which I've done before. So that's pretty cool. So there's a Girl I Left Behind Me sitting in the middle of Col Hart's reveille. More on Col Hart's in a bit. Second tune out of the Hart book we're going to look at today, Bonnie Doon, also part of Hart's reveille, which is weird. Reveilles vary from manual to manual, but they generally contain the same approximate tunes. And then there's a few that are like, wow, like there's one manual where the rose tree is in the middle of the manual or the reveille. And in this particular case, not only is The Girl I Left Behind Me in the middle of it, but another tune that you can see in other manuals standing alone, tune called Bonnie Doon, a 6/8. For I think a lot has to do with the drumming. It was in fact a drum manual, and Colonel Hart was a drummer. The fifing was kind of provided as an accompaniment to the drumming. Sorry, fifers. It's all about the drumming. But the fifing helps people remember the drumming. So here's Bonnie Doon. Be waking up for sure soon. Tune number 3 from the Harts book, and we have not even gotten out of reveille yet. He's just got all kinds of surprises with The Girl I Left Behind and Bonnie Doon, and now in the place of the typical Dutch, which we would see often as a 3/8 tune. Bum 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 bum. Well, here instead of that lovely tune is another interesting and lovely tune, the Dutch, aka General Grant's Troop. Troop is a nice stately march, and you can do a nice troop to this. It's in 3/4 time, and I've never seen it anywhere else except in this book. Thank you, Mr. Baldwin. I wonder if Grant was that famous by the time this was published. Maybe post Donaldson. Still trying to get these guys up. Well, we've gotten everyone up. The next order of business will be go see the doc, because Army life is tough, and more guys died of being sick than getting shot at. So the morning doctor's call is a pretty quick one. It's fairly common. Sounds the same in most manuals I've encountered. And it's followed up. It goes pretty quick, and it's followed up by a rehashing of the first tune in reveille, I guess, just because it's a favorite of everybody's. So here is the doctor's call, followed by Colonel Hart's 3 camps. Go see the doc. We're going to finish up the morning duty and today's venture into Harts. There'll be more. We're in our keppies and forage caps for this next series. The end of the morning duty, of course, would be time to eat. You've gotten up, you cleaned up, you've gone to see the docks if you need to, and then, well, you're hungry. The Breakfast Call is a tune that pretty much pops up in most period manuals of that era. Peas Upon a Trencher, with just slight variations. It's a fun tune. I enjoy playing it. This one is a little different from the one I normally play, so let's hope we get it through in one take. It's Breakfast Call, after which I'm going to go get something to eat. So, Peas Upon a Trencher. Trencher is a big wooden plate. Chow time.